Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be 12:30 in about a couple of seconds, and right now, I'm kind of scared. I don't know what type of chapter we're about to get today. Uh, I don't know if we're going to continue off of where we left when Im shows up in front of Cobra, and he's shocked to see Im walk up. I don't know what to expect. But let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way so we can see what's happening with this chapter. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another chapter reaction and review of One Piece. Last we left off, we were shown the events that were happening during the Reverie. Also, we had Cobra speaking to the Five Elders, and how this mention of this Queen Lily, who's an individual that goes back all the way down to the founding of the world government, who chose not to reside in the sacred land of Marijois. She pretty much ruled her kingdom of Alabasta, and she chose not to, be one of those rulers that swore fealty to the empty throne, which is why there's 19 weapons at the empty throne instead of 20. And Cobra's asking all these questions like, muted? Am I muted? Check. Check 1, 2. I'm muted? I am not muted. Cohagen, I am not muted. Cohagen. I'm not muted. I specifically took my microphone off. Cohagen. Is something going on with your system? Sometimes you're buffering when I'm not buffering, and now you're saying I'm muted when I'm not muted? What's going on with your system, bud? Good to see you, Ozzy, Ravi, who got us on, Psycho. You misclicked your sound. It happens. Y'all know, because it happens to me. Y'all the ones who telling me to unmute stuff, or your voice is delayed. So, hear you loud and clear? Good to know. All right, so, going back to this chapter, we don't know about the events that happened that caused Queen Lily to reside in Alabasta, and also the fact that her name was wiped from history. But apparently a letter has been passed down since, from 800 years ago to every single new ruler of Alabasta. And Cobra was talking to the Gorosei about it, including, there's even mention of the letter D in her letter. And that's already making him ask questions. You know, the type of questions that can get you killed by the Five Elders. So then Im shows up and just sits on the throne in front of Cobra. So let's see what happens to today's chapter, titled Chapter 1085, The Death of Nefeltari Cobra. Now we're about to see how that goes about. Reader requests Franky rooting on sea turtle hatchlings as they crawl to the ocean. And you know how emotional Franky can be. And also, on top of that, he's not only getting emotional at seeing these little hatchling sea turtles go towards the ocean, but he apparently beat up like a massive giant crab, because crabs tend to prey on sea turtles when they try to go out to the ocean, along with other creatures as well. So, Franky's emotional about it. Oh, here we go! We're back! Woohoo! We are back! We are right here, and Cobra has seen Im! Cobra has seen Im sit on the throne as he goes, "No one is meant to sit upon that throne. It is not meant for one person's will to sway the entire world." And then Im speaks. Im speaks going, oh boy, Im is speaking. Like having a conversation. The ruler of the world is having a conversation. Sorry. I'm sorry, but Im speaks. "There are two things I wish to say, and one thing to ask of thee, Cobra." "Who are you?" "I know the name Im already, but it must be a coincidence among the first 20. And then M says, do not seek the answer. I will not provide it. But I can tell thee what thou wish to know. The D is the name of those who once opposed us. Are we about to find out about what the D means? In today's chapter! I bit my lip. It hurts. I bit my lip. Hold up. Hold up! M! Hold up! Stop! But I can tell thee what thou wish to know. The D is the name of those who once opposed us. Those who bubble up from every corner of the world bearing the D are nothing but empty husks, ignorant of the meaning of their name. However, this recent development has its roots in Queen Lily's great mistake of 800 years ago. I'm sorry? I'm sorry? Did Queen Lily have an influence on why the D is so vilified by the world government and everyone in the higher-ups who knows? Is it because of Queen Lily? What great mistake! This recent development has its roots in Queen Lily's great mistake of 800 years ago. Mistake? As does the curiosity of the scholars rummaging after the void century. Yo, the ruler of the world is dropping knowledge. The ruler of the world is dropping knowledge, and this is the very first 2 panels. As does the spate of pirates seeking the poneglyphs for treasure. If not for Lily's mistake on that fateful day, the loathsome relics called the poneglyphs would not have been scattered across the world. What do you mean scattered? Were they... So, wait a minute. So all the poneglyphs were in one place. But because of her, what she did, they're scattered all over, including the road poneglyphs. We are getting so much knowledge. Lord Jesus, this is literally the first Sunday of June. If not for Lily's mistake on that fateful day, the loathsome relics called the poneglyphs would not have been scattered across the world. And this unfortunate event of the past has one disastrous potential explanation. Was the liberation of the poneglyphs actually a simple mistake? Or was it planned? And then it cuts to Cobra, and it cuts to the Gorosei, who start pulling out weapons! They killed him! 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 They're the ones who did it! They killed him! They killed him! Because he knows too much! They killed Cobra! Ah! No! I gotta sit down. We ain't done. But Cobra's listening to this, and the Gorosei start taking out their weapons. And I'm just now noticing that Jay Garcia Saturn, his cane also doubles as his cane has he's got a gun in there. It cuts to the one swordsman of the group draws his sword, but everyone else draws guns. It's just like when Miss Perkins broke Continental rules and Winston had her murdered at the end of the first John Wick. They're all around. They're around Cobra like they're about to execute him. The answer to I gotta go back. And this unfortunate event of the past has one disastrous potential explanation. Was the liberation of the poneglyphs actually a simple mistake, or was it planned? The answer to that question must be found within Lily's letter sent to Alabasta. But I have only heard thee speak of Queen Lily of the Nefeltari dynasty. Why do you hide it from Mu? Tell Mu the proper name of the sender. Why does it say Mu? M-U. It doesn't say Im-sama. Why does it say Mu? Is that a typo? Why do you hide it from Mu? Tell Mu the proper name of the sender. And then it cuts to Cobra. He knows what situation he's in. Well, that settles it. Clearly, I will not be allowed to leave this room alive. I told you. It's just like you guys said, and I said as well. The moment he stepped into that room, he already knew he was going to die. He already knew it. If I told you a lie, would I escape the blow? The moment you saw Great Emu, your fate was sealed, goes the big mustached member of the Gorosei. I suppose it was. This is the greatest taboo in the world. And then it cuts to Sabo. Oh, it cuts to Sabo. What's going on in there? Something's very wrong. The letter was signed. Okay, the letter was signed by the Queen of Alabasta 800 years ago. And her name was Nefeltari D. Lily. Yo! One of the original founders of the world government was a D! What? I'm sorry, what? What? One of the original rulers that founded the world government itself was a D. The letter was signed by the Queen of Alabasta 800 years ago, and her name was Nefeltari D. Lily. And then M looks and goes, D. And then like a black shadowy arrow shoots out from the ground. Like, I don't know if this is a devil fruit power or what, but it just shoots out from the ground and it skewers through Cobra. Then we see Sabo jump in. Then we see Sabo jump in. Fire Fist! And then he engulfs both of the Gorosei. He engulfs the Gorosei themselves in fire. If the Gorosei is fine after this, they're not human. If the Gorosei are just completely unscathed after they're point blank in front of Sabo, okay? If the Gorosei are completely unscathed after being blasted with pure flame by Sabo, of all people, they're not human. They're not real. They're not human. Fire Fist! And then the Gorosei gets engulfed in flames. And then it cuts to the flames getting close to Im as Sabo screams, Rook check! Either that's Sabo saying Rook check, Rook, that's like a chess piece, Rook check! And then it cuts to Im that looks at Sabo with narrowed eyes going, where did thou come from? And then all of a sudden, something chomps. What the heck? What is this? He's surrounded by shadows. He's surrounded by shadow creatures. They're all inside this throne room. They're all inside the throne room right now. There's shadow creatures everywhere. And Sabo continues, I would have liked to take all of you down right here. Alas, to think there was such a diabolical truth at the pinnacle of the world. And it shows Sabo standing right next to Cobra, which is where they get the picture of Sabo killing Cobra. So, this just proves without a shadow of a doubt that Sabo did not kill him. They did. It wasn't even the Gorosei. This shadow thing, whatever it was, stabbed Cobra. But they took his picture. To think there was such a diabolical truth at the pinnacle of the world. And then his picture gets taken from a secret camera inside the room, and he notices. You're Luffy's brother? You would save me, despite being a revolutionary. Our real enemies aren't the kings. It's those guys above you. How do you know about Luffy, though? He saved my life. And like we just got finished reading through the Alabasta arc not too long ago. So yeah, it feels so recent that Luffy saved not only Cobra but Robin during that time. Sounds like Luffy. And then it cuts to Sabo, who starts running with Cobra on his back, while these shadow creatures, whatever they are giving chase to him. You can escape on your own. It's too late for me. Put me down. No, I'm saving you. I realized something today. You must not die here. Send a message to Luffy and Vivi. Luffy and Princess Vivi? Tell them that we also bear the D. What? Vivi is a D. Vivi comes from a lineage of D. Lineage. Yo, Vivi is part of the D family. What? What? Tell them that we also bear the D. Huh? At last, I see a way forward for Alabasta. And then it cuts back to when Sabo, Luffy, and Ace were kids.
Is it a fluke? You guys both have a D in your name. Oh, you're right. Well, I don't care what my name is. You want a D, Sabo? You want a D, Sabo? Huh? Sa-D-Bo. That's not where it goes.
And then another one of those shadowy arrows comes in and clips Sabo and Cobra. And Cobra's ripped away from him. Sabo gets clipped by this thing. King Cobra! The poneglyphs. And then all of a sudden, here's the thing. Whatever this creature is, it's growling. And its growling is obscuring half of what Cobra's saying. Because I can't see. All I see is must be. And apparently, I'm guessing he's saying like the poneglyphs must be protected. Bear the flag of the dawn against something world. Nefeltari D. Lily. That's what was in her letter, but we can't really see it because the growling is so loud it's obscuring what Cobra's saying. I'm counting on you, Kobe. King Cobra! You must I'm counting. Oh, wait, he says not Kobe. Sorry, why was I thinking Kobe? I'm counting on you, Sabo. King Cobra! You must survive. And then it cuts to someone going, who's there? And someone's is like from the opposite end of the wall, and they're peeking through a small hole in the wall, and it's Wapol. It's Wapol. So that explains why he was with Vivi when Morgans took him. He saw something he shouldn't have. And mind you, this is when the reverie is still going on. He got whacked! I can't believe it. Cobra's dead. I hated the guy, but I ain't so low that I'd celebrate it. I just had to see that. Didn't I? I just had to learn the truth of the darkness in the government. I don't want to know! Who was that? My life is over! Wapol knows who Im is as well. Not just Cobra, but here's the thing. Wapol was witness to Cobra's pretty much execution. And he knows about Im-sama and all these different events. I can't believe that the Nefeltari family is a D. And they also helped found the world government. That might explain why Nefeltari Lily left. Because people with D's in their names always oppose those in power, especially the gods of the world. So it would make sense that Nefeltari Lily would leave and oppose the world government itself and not even be a part of them. Like, to that degree. But good God, so much information. So much information! We're going to read the synopsis. In the Round Table Council Room. It seems King Cobra and King Wapol are late. I've just gotten word that they wish us to proceed without them. I suppose King Cobra's impassioned speech left him tuckered out. Well, he must be satisfied with the ruling of the 7 warlords. First, let's finish up the rest of our itinerary. As for the independence of the four-nation alliance in the North Blue. And then it cuts to Fukaboshi, who's there going, Shirahoshi, the meetings will soon be finished. Let's go and wait at the Red Port where those fools won't come after you. What's the matter? And then Shirahoshi's looking off to the side going,
I wish to say my goodbyes to Princess Vivi before we leave. Where could she have gone?
And then it cuts to Vivi.
What do you think you're doing kidnapping me? Untie these ropes! Who ordered this?
Guest room in the Pangaea Castle.
I'll tell the entire world about what happened here.
And it cuts to Jabra and Caulifla, who apparently are the ones who kidnapped her. You're too honest for your own good. Jabra, Sarfapol Aegis Zero. And then it... What kidnapper's going to let you go after a threat like that, headstrong woman?
I don't think you're getting out of this one, Princess. You'll go down as missing and end up as someone's pet. Is Shirahoshi safe?
Huh? You're worried about someone else right now? Sounds like another incident happened earlier, but long story short, she's fine.
I'm glad to hear that.
The guys who walloped the Celestial Dragon tried to abduct the Mermaid Princess. And then it cuts to both Sai and Leo screaming out, We're followers of Straw Hat Luffy!
We're followers of Straw Hat Luffy!
Name themselves loud and proud. Now the square's in an absolute uproar. Over in the land of the gods, Fujitora helped the revolutionary army free slaves, and Ryokugyu snapped and turned on him. Whoa. Yo! This is why I love Fujitora, okay? This dude has too many morals for him to be an absolute follower of the justice system of the Marines. You mean to tell me this man stopped fighting so he could help the revolutionaries free people? Fujitora's the best. Fujitora's the best. Fujitora's the best admiral. I'm sorry, Kizaru, you used to be one of my favorites simply because of your power and your nonchalance, but Fujitora, you're at the top of the list. Oh my god, I love this man. Over in the land of the gods, Fujitora helped the revolutionary army free slaves, and Ryokugyu snapped and turned on him. This reverie's been something else, man. Whoo! Yo, Fujitora, one of the best characters that ever came out of the time skip. But Vivi's not saying anything.
I need to do something. Be someone's pet? Over my dead body.
And then there's just multiple explosions that happen. And then all of a sudden, Wapol comes barreling through the wall as he goes, Help me! I didn't see nothing! And he's come barreling through the wall, surprising everyone. And Vivi's going,
Wapol?
Out of my way! He's literally running through walls, eating the walls, trying to get out.
That's it.
Clear the way! I ain't getting caught!
Chappa!
What was that? King Wapol, right? So Fukudo's there and Bluno's there as well. Hey, wait a sec! Vivi's gone! What the? And then it cuts to Wapol's wife that goes,
Oh, Honey Poo, I've been looking for you. Where have you been? And who's that young woman with you? Wapol, where are you going?
As far as I freaking can! I'm going to the ends of the earth where no one can follow! And then it cuts to Vivi, who's kind of caught up in his mouth because she used that as a means to get out and escape.
I'll go too. Take me with you.
And then it cuts to Wapol's wife, who goes,
They're eloping?
What a chapter! What a chapter! I got 12 people here. Hold on. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good night. Whoa. Whoa. What a chapter. That's the end of the chapter. Hold on. Let me go. Let me go back and see what you said. Where are you in the chapter? Oh, greetings, fellow people. We didn't start yet. Just in time, and he's speaking in Amish dialect. Ouch. Yo, I finally caught one of your streams live. Let's go. Here we go. Refuse to min himself as Moo. Dun dun dun. Vivi is a D. Man, Kyushu, so we're back at square one. I guess we'll never know what the D stands for. Look, the fact that we just got some information. We got a little bit of information. We don't know the true meaning of the word D, but we do know that there are significant people that house the D. The Nefeltari family have the will of D. You know, Psycho, it sure does seem like it. Those shadow creatures, of course, are the Gorosei. Count the shadows just to be safe. Hold on. Does my mention of them, if they survived Sabo's fire, if they survive Sabo's fire, then they're not human? Was that proven correct? Because we don't see the Gorosei anymore, but we see 5 shadowy creatures in their place. Are they actually not human? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 creatures. The Gorosei are not human. They're not human. They're not human. They're not human. At least Cobra went out like a G. He really did. Possibly some, if not all, are mythical Zoan users. So that was a scoop Wapol was going to tell Morgans back in 956, which means Wapol can't go back to his new kingdom. No. They don't know that he knows, but he knows, and that's enough to send him running scared. Who do you consider the top Cypher Pole waifu, Caulifla or Stussy? And once again, Fujitora is the best admiral. Yes, he is! I gotta go with Stussy. I ain't got nothing wrong with Caulifla. There's nothing wrong with Caulifla, but Khalifa? But Khalifa, yeah, she alright, but Stussy. I gotta go with Stussy. Fujitora accidentally freed the slaves. Fujitora almost accidentally killed the celestial dragons when he tried to summon the meteors. It was just an accident, we all know that. Or did he? Fujitora, I'm gonna kill all the Monkey D. Dragon. Yeah, Monkey D. Dragon. So Fujitora would be that type of individual that says, like, I'm gonna bring a meteor down. And here's the thing, I don't think Fujitora fully cares about the well-being of the celestial dragons because he can't stand them. He's the first person that says, like, who does the world government think they are? Some type of god or something? He already feels real iffy about the higher-ups of the world government. He's gonna put his own morals before the orders of the world government. That's the reason why everyone will be side-eyeing him whenever he shows up, because they know, like, this dude, he's human. He has human emotions, and he feels for the people. We don't need anyone like that. We need a soulless machine. We need pacifistas. We need admirals that exercise absolute justice. Fujitora's all like, nah, bruh. The reason why I took my own eyes out was because y'all were nasty. This man took out his own eyes because the world government itself is just so foul that he doesn't want to see anything that they do. But this man's observation hockey is on point, though, to the point where he can do whatever he wants. It's all like, oh, I couldn't even see you. That's it. That's such a good excuse. I didn't even see you over there. What's going on? I didn't see it. Just brings down a meteor on the most secure place in the area. Well, it used to be. Okay. My goodness. They know he knows. They said to continue the reverie without Cobra and Wapol. Reiju, best girl. Okay, so Reiju, Robin, and Hancock are on the top tier for best girls overall in all of One Piece. And then there's everyone else after them. First, I like Fujitora because a whole blind swordsman thing, but what he did was a boss. What he did, what a boss. Yes, Fujitora really wants to take advantage of the situation to kill the celestial dragons, but he remembers Ryokugyu was there. Reiju may be best girls, but Robin is best woman. Well, you're right. Ozzy's right. All right, so real quick, we got to go over this chapter and go over the notes. Lord Jesus, this was something, because I know we can get some reasoning. We can get some reasoning behind these chapters whenever, we go through it. But it's when people go through the whole summary. Ooh, good. What the heck? What the heck? Hold on. Okay, so let's just check out this long summary real quick, because this is actually kind of important, because it appears that I've missed something, because those creatures have names. They're called Ims. IMs, not IMU like Imu-sama, but Ims. They're called Ims. Emu says to a speechless Cobra that they have two things they wish to say to Cobra and only one thing to ask of him. Hearing Emu's name, Cobra comments how similar it is to one of the first 20. Emu, however, refuses to confirm his suspicions. The fact that Im's name came up in Queen Lily's letter from 800 years ago, could this be the individual that was given the eternal youth surgery by one of the previous users of the Ope Ope no Mi? And that would explain why Emu is still here, even though Emu was mentioned 800 years ago. Could he truly be immortal? That's just a thought. Emu tells Cobra that D is the name of their opposers, but none of the people in the world that bear it know of its importance nowadays, because it's like an 800-year-old mystery. Emu says that this recent development's roots go way back then, which they say is because of a mistake Nefeltari Lily made 800 years ago, on par with the scholars of Ohara investigating the Void Century. So what Queen Lily did back then was on par of what the scholars of Ohara did that caused their entire island to be Buster called and every single one of them murdered. M says that it was all Lily's fault the poneglyphs were unleashed up onto the world, and why pirates used them to search for treasure. Because Emu considers the release of the poneglyphs the worst possible outcome for the first 20, they wonder if it was all part of some larger plan. Isn't it always? As the five elders ready their weapons, Emu tells him that the truth exists in the letter Lily left, and they tell Cobra to address Lily by her full name as written on said letter. Realizing he will not leave the room alive, Cobra announces that Lily's name is Nefeltari D. Lily. In an instant, Emu stabs Cobra with what seems to be an arrow-shaped tail. Just then, Sabo appears, having been eavesdropping on the conversation, and attacks the five elders with Hiken Rook Check. So that Rook Check was a brand new attack by Sabo, which he shoots his like Fire Fist Rook Check, but the fire continues on in like a trail. Continues on in like a trail that gets blocked by the M. But his attack is blocked by the M, having all transformed into large creatures. Sabo laments his inability to destroy all of them as a picture of him is taken standing above Cobra, which would be published in the papers. Cobra calls Sabo Luffy's brother and asks why he saved him, and Sabo replies that the Revolutionary Army's conflict is with the corrupt world nobles. When Sabo asks how Cobra knows Luffy, he informs him that he helped him in the past. Emu and the five elders try to attack, so Sabo starts fleeing with Cobra, but he tells him to leave him behind. All right, so real quick, I gotta bring this up. Where are they? Five elders. Okay, so this is a confirmation. All five elders, okay, when you go to the five elders, a new thing has been added to their powers and abilities, which is basically devil fruits. All five elders seemingly possess devil fruits abilities, which allow them to transform into animalistic or humanoid creatures. So the five elders all possess devil fruits. And like you guys said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're mythical. Let me go back to what you said, because you guys have been still talking while I was reading the synopsis. Let's see. By the way, when did Cobra get the wheelchair? This was during the time skip, because he's been sick. And the best part, no break. Ryokugyu. Stupid, just look at what you're doing. I'm blind. Big Mom, best waifu? Oh, no. You're already on his wheelchair, even in Alabasta, post-time skip. No, not Lillian. Maybe when she was younger, I'll give that title to Shaki before you give it to Big Mom. Yeah, Shaki, she's fine. By the way, welcome to the family. Oh, yeah, D, welcome. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoyed yourself. But we need to go back to the five elders. So, combat strength. Political powers aside, it is currently unknown how strong each one of the five elders is. However, due to their clear muscles and scars and that one of them is wielding a sword, it would appear that they have some battle experience and fighting capabilities. Also, in Robin's flashback, it appears that their appearances haven't been altered in the least, despite it taking place 22 years ago. They were shown to be able to easily withstand Sabo's Hiken technique, which was right then that told me that these five elders, they are not normal at all. They are not normal at all. 4 of the elders possess flintlock pistols, while 1 has a sword, and all 5 elders seemingly possess devil fruit abilities, which allow them to transform into animalistic or humanoid creatures. So yeah, that's the 5 elders. But back to the chapter synopsis. Having all transformed into large, blocked by the Im, having all transformed into large creatures. Sabo laments his ability, well, going back here. When Sabo asks how Cobra knows Luffy, okay, let's see. Imu and the 5 elders try to attack, so Sabo starts fleeing with Cobra, but he tells him to leave him behind. Sabo refuses, but Cobra explains he needs to be able to escape if he's to deliver a message to Luffy and Vivi. The message is that the Nefeltari family share the moniker D, and he knows what path Alabasta must take now. A shocked Sabo thinks back to his childhood, and when he learned that both Luffy and Ace had D in their names. He gets pulled out of his thoughts when Imu attacks Cobra again, and Sabo, injuring both and forcing the latter to drop the former. As Cobra forces himself on his feet, he recites the words of Lily's letter as Imu finally kills him, much to Sabo's horror. Cobra's last wish was for Sabo to relay what he saw and live on. Sabo eventually escapes, but the 5 elders' attention is turned into another eavesdropper, who turns out to be Wapol. Though he hated Cobra, he was absolutely horrified that he was murdered by what he considers the world government's biggest skeleton in the closet. Racked with fear, Wapol books it for his life. Meanwhile, in the Grand Round Table, the kings are told that Cobra and Wapol won't be joining them, which some think is because Cobra exhausted himself giving a speech about abolishing the 7 warlords of the sea. As they move to the next topic, Shirahoshi's brothers decide to take her to the Red Port so they don't have to deal with any more world nobles. Though Shirahoshi was sad she couldn't say goodbye to Vivi. Speaking of, Vivi ends up restrained by CP0, who she demands they let her free. Khalifa, who was watching over her, informs her that when her disappearance is made known, she'll be living the rest of her life as a pet. Vivi asks if Shirahoshi is okay, and Khalifa informs her that she emerged from her ordeal unscathed, much to Vivi's relief. Jabra, who was also watching her, claims that the ones who attacked St. Charlos, Leo, and Sai proudly proclaim themselves as members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. So, yeah, with Sai and Leo basically blasting that out for all to hear, Luffy's name is definitely going to come up in conversation again, and the Grand Fleet is definitely going to come up in conversation as well. Do you think Alabasta has more connection to the history than Skype and Wano? Well, yeah. Yeah, Alabasta definitely has more connection to the history of the world than anyone would care to think about right now. Because think about it, its first ruler was a member of the first 20. But what makes it truly significant is the fact that the first ruler, one of the members of the first 20, was also a D. Literally a person that has been known to oppose. That was known to oppose the world government and its nobles. You commented this to other channels, but did Oda purposefully let the 4 major D characters were all in Alabasta: Ace, Luffy, Blackbeard, and Vivi? Blackbeard was in Alabasta? I don't think... Was Blackbeard in Alabasta? I don't think Blackbeard... Wait, I could be wrong. I mean, I am going back through those old volumes again. But was he in Alabasta? Hold on. Let me look this up. Control F, Alabasta. Okay, nothing. Oh, wait. I need to go to history. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, I'm typing in Alabasta, and it doesn't show that Blackbeard has been to Alabasta. It doesn't show him showing it, because if he showed up, it would... I don't think he has. Blackbeard and Luffy first met in Jaya. They met in Jaya. I literally just got done finishing that volume on Saturday. They met in Jaya. Blackbeard was on Drum Island. That's the reason why Wapol got driven away. But Blackbeard and Luffy first met in Jaya. That was also... I literally just got done reading that volume. Volume 24, where we also meet Bellamy for the first time. They met in Jaya. It wasn't Alabasta. So all Ds were not together in one place. But 3 major Ds were in a place. Nefeltari D Vivi. Can you believe it? Vivi is a D just like Luffy. That's crazy. Jaya. Yes, that Mocktown. Yeah, Mocktown. The same place you remember Bellamy. You remember when they were going to find a way to get to Skypiea? That's the place they went to. That's the place they went to. That's when they met each other. That's also when we saw Jesus Burgess and Doc Q for the very first time. Also Van Augur as well. That's when we first saw members of the Blackbeard Pirates in Jaya, but it wasn't Alabasta. Okay. Okay, so we need to go back to this. This is crazy. All right, let's see here. Vivi asks if Shirahoshi is okay, and Khalifa informs her that she emerged from her ordeal unscathed, much to Vivi's relief. Jabra, who was also watching her, claims that the ones who attacked St. Charlos, Leo and Sai, proudly proclaimed themselves as members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. He also reveals that Fujitora ended up helping several slaves escape, which ticked off Ryokugyu so much that they started going at it. So, yeah. Not only do we have like this whole ordeal going, but we got a admiral fighting another admiral because one wants to help slaves and the other one is all like, hey, you got to protect the status quo and stuff like that. So that's a thing. As Vivi ponders what to do, Wapol crashes through the wall begging to be spared, and Vivi takes the opportunity to escape by jumping into his mouth. The CP0 agents were left stunned by Wapol's sudden action and eventually realized that Vivi had gotten away from them. As he runs, Vivi asks him how long he plans on running, and he says he'll run to the edge of the world if he has to. The both of them then cross paths with Kinderella, the wife of Wapol, who comes to believe that Wapol is eloping with Vivi. So I would not be surprised if we get some cover stories about Kinderella trying to find Wapol and exact her revenge on him because she incorrectly thinks that Wapol's trying to run away with Vivi so they can elope. But that's not the case. This man's trying to run for his life. So, going over the chapter notes, which is just like a short version of these, Imu starts talking to King Cobra. Cobra recognizes Im's name and associates it with the first 20, but Im tells Cobra not to pry any further on that matter. Imu answers Cobra's question about the will of D. Imu states that the ancient enemies of the world government once carried the moniker of D. According to Imu, Nefeltari Lily committed a mistake that allowed the Poneglyphs to be scattered around the world, but is suspicious that this was actually intentional on her part. The five elders pulled out their weapons with the intent of assassinating Cobra due to him having witnessed Imu's existence. Cobra reveals that Nefeltari Lily's name was in truth Nefeltari D. Lily, and then Cobra is pierced in the stomach by an arrow-like appendage. Sabo shows up and attacks Imu and the five elders with his flames, but the attack is rendered ineffective by Imu. Imu basically nullified and completely canceled out the attack from Sabo. I think we should all be intimidated. by the fact that Sabo's extremely powerful. Like the second strongest person in the entire Revolutionary Army. Maybe the third strongest because Ivankov is strong as well, along with Dragon and Kuma, but Kuma's off doing his own thing. So it's like, Sabo's ridiculously strong, also having a ridiculously strong Devil Fruit, but Imu just canceled his attack out. That's concerning, because the only other person I know that can cancel out attacks of Devil Fruit users is Blackbeard with the Yami Yami no Mi. I'm just saying. Five Godos say we're about to use weapons, so tail must be of Imu, but wide tail was coming from the side instead of the front. Anyway, Alabasta is when ancient weapons and poneglyphs were first introduced. We have Robin of Ohara that was hired by Crocodile, so how much does Crocodile know? He don't know enough. He doesn't know enough. I hope the next time we see Charlos, he has a permanent dent in his head, courtesy of Sai and Leo. Does Crocodile have more reason why he wants to replace Cobra other than the ancient weapons? I highly doubt that Crocodile knows the history of the world or anything more of the history of Alabasta. He's literally just a megalomaniac that just wants to create a military nation of power that can oppose the world government. That's the reason why the whole Cross Guild thing even exists, so he can slowly build that nation that he was denied back in Alabasta. Crocodile's not the type of... He's smart. He's smart. But not that smart. If he was truly smart, he would have realized that Robin was lying and still try to figure out where Pluton was, which we find out is in Wano. But of course, like Ozzy says, he would have went straight to Wano, but at the same time, he probably wouldn't have wanted to deal with Kaido because Crocodile is not on Kaido's level. He's not. He's not even on Luffy's level. That's the reason why he got beaten. So, yeah. Crocodile knew enough to try and overthrow the kingdom so he can get his hands on an ancient weapon to build the nation that he wanted to in the past. You're trying to connect the dots? We are going to be here forever if you're trying to connect every single dot, D. You really are. But what we know so far is that the history of the world is far more complex than we could have ever imagined. The fact that one of the first 20 rulers of the world who founded the world government was actually a D. He's smart, but not stupid. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Was actually a D this whole time. That's monumental. That's monumental. So let me come back to this. Imu and the five elders are capable of transforming themselves into massive, shadowy creatures. So it's not just the elders, it's also Imu who can transform himself as well. Sabo shows up and attacks Imu and the five elders with his flames, but the attack is rendered ineffective by Imu. A visual Denden Mushi photographs Sabo at the exact moment he's standing next to the fallen Cobra, explaining the incriminating picture used by the World Economy newspaper. Sabo picks up and tries to escape with Cobra, learning about his connection with Luffy. Cobra's final request to Sabo is for him to inform Vivi and Luffy that the Nefeltari family also bears the Will of D. Sabo recounts a conversation he had in his childhood with Luffy and Ace about the Will of D. Sabo is struck down by one of the transformed five elders, prompting Cobra to sacrifice himself and allow the revolutionary to escape. Cobra recites the contents of Lily's letter to Sabo before dying. Wapol witnesses Cobra's actual murder from a peephole and gets noticed by the five elders, and Wapol attempts to run away by munching his way through the Pangaea castle. The participants of the reverie were informed of Cobra and Wapol's absences and proceeded as normal. Fujitora let many of the slaves freed by the Revolutionary Army escape, leading to a fight between him and Ryokugyu. Vivi was caught and tied up by CP0 at some point, being kept in a room somewhere in the castle. Wapol bursts into said room, giving Vivi a chance to escape CP0 by jumping into his mouth. What in the world? Oda is really... Don't worry, we'll be connecting dots throughout the series. When Cobra says, I know what path Alabasta would take, it reminds me how Vivi didn't know what to do during the Alabasta arc. Wait, so if that picture was posted on the newspaper by Morgans, isn't he supposed to be in trouble too, since no one is supposed to see Imu? See, here's the thing. A picture was taken, but it was only of Sabo, not of the entire room. It just has Sabo from a top-down view that shows him standing over the body of Cobra. So I would imagine, so here's the thing, that's not News Morgans' picture that's being taken. That's not News' own personal Denden Mushi that's taken that photo. It's obviously a camera that they have. It's obviously a camera that the world government has, and they willingly give that photo, they probably willingly gave that photo to Morgans so he could print it in the paper to make Sabo seem like the one who did the killing of Cobra, so that the implications would, so that no one could truly know that they were the ones who killed him. So, just long story short, that Denden Mushi doesn't belong to Morgans. It belongs to the world government, which they gave him possibly a doctored photo of, so that he can only have the one that just shows Sabo, so he could print it in the paper, so that the world could think that Sabo's the one who killed a major world leader. Almost every One Piece fan loves to connect the dots. I blame Oda for that. Yeah, Oda likes to do that. Oda likes to do that. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, because there's no way, because they don't want the world to know. They don't want the world to know, but they do want the world to continue on as it has, completely oblivious to their darkest motives and their darkest secrets. That's what they pride themselves on. Maybe Sabo was outside the room because they're trying to escape. It's really weird that there's a small snail camera in a room where we can see Im-sama. I don't think it's weird. Because imagine, it's a room that is usually empty and Im never sits in there. Of course, they would have cameras posted there, but they probably wouldn't have them turned on when Imu walks in. Because you can turn a Denden Mushi off where it's not able to get a signal. You can do that. But I feel like for this time, they wanted to pin the death of a world leader on someone so that it wasn't like, oh, we never saw Cobra again. What happened? He was the only one who went into the room to speak with the Gorosei and he never came out. What's going on? Too many questions would be asked. So, it was awfully convenient for them that Sabo tried to come in and immediately threw hands. He did not waste time. He was eavesdropping and immediately threw hands when he saw the chance. So they saw it as a perfect opportunity to turn on the camera, but only make it focus on Sabo, so when that Cobra died, he could be standing over Cobra, worried about him and concerned and even heart-stricken about it. But they take his picture, and now the world sees Sabo as the murderer of a nation's ruler. Because it works so well for them. They can kill anyone that they want, but pin the blame on somebody else so that it never comes back to the world government. Because after all, the world government is here for us. They help us. They protect us from pirates. Yada, yada, yada. At least that's what the world knows. But they know that we need a scapegoat. We need a fall guy. And this revolutionary would be perfect. There are enemies anyway, so the world will just see it as such. Even Aokiji doesn't know the existence of Imu. No one knows the existence of Imu except for the Gorosei. And now, Sabo and Wapol. No one knows. No one knows, because the fact that Imu walked into the room was shocking even to the Gorosei, because he's such a they're there, because we don't know if it's a dude or a woman, but they're such a well-guarded secret that only the Gorosei, which is the highest authority underneath Imu-sama himself, they're the only ones who know. No admiral knows of their existence. No admiral or any ranking official that's underneath the Gorosei knows of Imu's existence. So no one knows, but now Sabo knows, and now Dragon and Ivankov are sure to know as well. This was one heck of a chapter, and the fact that this is a chapter we are not going on break on, we got Imu speaking. And we still don't know anything about Kong. Does he know about Imu or not? We don't know, because we haven't seen Kong in years. Because he's the commander-in-chief of the Marines. We have the fleet admiral, but the fleet admiral is not the top brass. That's Kong. He's the commander-in-chief. So even Akainu doesn't outrank him. But we haven't seen Kong since the pre-time skip. It's been that long. Let's not forget Shanks was also there. Yeah, Shanks was also there, and he spoke to the Gorosei, but I highly doubt you knew about Imu-sama as well. He only spoke to the Gorosei in their regular room. Not in the throne room, not in the empty throne room, though. He spoke to the Gorosei in their room, in their personal quarters. So that's different. But so much information, and we're not going on break for this? Really? Oda really is, this truly is the final saga. How long has it been since we've been back to Egghead? We've been dealing with stuff, we've been with the revolutionaries and finding out things that happened during the Reverie for quite some time now. It's been a while since we were dealing with all the events that are still happening on Egghead. It's been so long. But who knows where the next chapter is going to go? I didn't think that we would get this much information. I can't believe that Vivi comes from a line of D's. I can't believe that. Oda's cooking? Yes, he is. This man is not cooking. This Gordon Ramsay is looking at Oda and says like that very much. It's very good. It's very good. By the way, there's a theory that the Shanks we saw in Marijois wasn't the real Shanks. I don't know if I could ever get behind that type of theory. I don't know. I don't know. It's been maybe 6 chapters since Egghead. That's how good Oda is as a storyteller, and Oda we trust. Hey, I trust Oda to give us a good story, and so far he's been his pen and pencil have been on straight fire ever since we've ended Wano, and he hasn't let up since. Every chapter has been monumental. Like, it's good God, there's a reason why I love this series so much. Because it's good. It's just so good. The information we're finding out, like, got me hollering. It really does. Sorry, lint. But overall, this was a fantastic chapter. But it leaves me with even more questions. Like, what are the Gorosei? Like, what are they? Because I'm looking, and one looks like, I don't know, that doesn't look like a dragon. It looks like some sort of weird creature. One of them looks like a big tusk type animal. It almost looks like a giant warthog or something because it has like the big tusk on the side. But one looks like a giant bird. Another one is like a giant humanoid figure that's up the wall. And there's another humanoid figure in the back. And there's another horned type creature in the back as well. But we don't even know what the Gorosei are. We don't even know what they are. And the fact that Im and the Gorosei were chasing after them. So many questions. And we're not going on break. But I'm done. That theory was based on the fact that his eye scars wasn't shown. I mean, they did capture him from his right side, saying, like, I want to talk to you about a specific pirate. But they was only capturing his side. Are we going to see the God Knights? It's possible. People are speculating that one of the Holy Knights is Shanks' twin brother. So many theories. I know Shanks was showed in profile, but not completely. Anything is possible, especially in this final saga. Insanity is literally the normality in this story. But I'm done. I got to do My Hero Academia, and then I'm calling it for today so I can rest up and possibly get myself some food later. Oda's storytelling already surpassed the levels of being a mangaka. It's already like a novel. The connections were written better than Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter, and Berserk. Berserk is really good, though. Berserk and Attack on Titan are really, 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 really good, though. I haven't really read Hunter x Hunter, but Attack on Titan and Berserk, they were actually kind of really well written. So I can't say that One Piece, it has better storytelling than those, because the lore and the backstories and information from those series are really, really good. But I would put them all on a very, very high. I would put it on like a very high list. I would put it on a very high list. But God, who would think that we would get a chapter like this? This is the very first Sunday, the very first chapter we get in June, and it's already setting June on fire. And June is already packed with numerous things, including Final Fantasy 16, which I will be playing. But it's like, this is how you start a Sunday when it comes to manga. Good Lord! All right, I'm done. Everyone who's here, thank you for stopping by. I enjoy doing this. This is my passion. This is my job. So, it's like, I enjoy every single time I get in front of this camera, turn this mic on, and then just do what I do for all of you. It really is an immense honor and joy, especially as a One Piece fan, to enjoy all of these moments that are happening in the manga right now. It's truly unbelievable. And I feel like Oda is really just teasing us right now. He's all like, all right, here's this big old giant cookie. I'm going to give you this piece real quick for the whole month. We still got so much giant chocolate chip cookie left. And Oda just gave us a crumb. But this is such a wonderful time to be a One Piece fan. It really is a wonderful time to be a One Piece fan. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and get My Hero Academia thing started. All I can say to everyone here, from D to Nika to Ozzy to Kohagen, all my members, all my mods, all my subscribers, thank you for blessing me, for just being here. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples, on to My Hero Academia.